Good morning, everybody, and this is your Forex day trade setups for today, the 2nd of February. So our measured move played out fairly well yesterday, and that was before FOMC, and then after FOMC we had this breakthrough. So technically I'd be looking for a pullback back to 109,238 before looking to get back in long at the moment. So there was a flag we highlighted yesterday. We're looking for a break above it. We've got the break above it and continued up, hit our target. There was our structure, and then eventually it was just mucking around while we were waiting for the Feds to come out, and obviously we rallied from that. So two ways to play this. You could have anticipated a break of this level. So in other words, just move your stop up to just above entry here to protect your capital, and you can see how wild the swing was, and you may be banking quite a bit of money at the moment. But very difficult to do because often what happens, this thing just comes back below here and then turns around. So it's very difficult to do in when big bits of data are coming out. So anyway, that was a 600-point trade. Not too shabby for that. So I think 150, 660 point stop loss for 600 points. Very decent trade set up that. So for me today, I would want to see a deeper pullback. So there is a bit of a gap here. The big gap down here. This is currently what I want. So what I would expect us to do now is just to go into a holding pattern for non-farm payrolls tomorrow. So in other words, just go sideways until non-farm payrolls and then make a decision whether it's going to be back down to come and test the levels or whether we're going to continue up. So I'm sit on hands in this one. The trade worked out, so banked some profit. So now we just move on and wait for the next setup. Moving on to US dollar Japanese yen. And let's just start off on the 8 hour like we should. We were sideways. Obviously we got the break to the downside, which is pretty important, but this is a little bit more structure for us to look for. It's not on a tear like Euro USD is. So what we mean by that is we have broken through these levels, but this would be a decent short entry. So that would be 129045 or alternatively 129231. So that's kind of what I'd be looking for here. Definitely don't want to be jumping in down here. There's a bit of diversions formed here as well. So I'd expect a little bit of a pullback. And the other thing to bear in mind is that you have what looks like a trend line forming. So again, could be sideways, move up, trigger, and then off, or we could just drift up today, eventually getting us an entry here for a short. So that's well worth watching. Moving on to British pound, Japanese yen. We've kind of broken through the moving averages here, but this is really lackluster. I'm not entirely convinced you even want to be chasing this. If we look at this on the hour, it gives you a bit of a different picture, doesn't it? So we did get a rejection here, but not really. I mean, which level am I supposed to look at? So it's kind of all over the place is what we expected yesterday. So I think I say lackluster, but looking at the hour, there is definitely a level that has not been respected here. That's 159.509, and there's probably a better one at this level here, and that's 159.868. And again, you want to basically, I'm going to put that trend line, and I'm going to ignore this from yesterday because that was the trend line. Original. So the first two highs, first two fractals is normally what I take as the trend line, and then I ignore any fake outs on that, so that trend line stays intact. So could be a little bit lower by the looks of that trend line, so it could be, I don't see anything else here. Anyway, what we're looking for is a rejection of anything from 159.894 to 159.763. And possibly even 159.509. If we get a rejection, then you're looking for a continuation down, and what you want to do, you can see we're at some support here. So there is support, and there is more support further down. Just put that third one in as well there. Okay, so your target to the downside would be what's that? 158608 and 158124. Those are your two targets to the downside, but don't jump in here at this 159, 189. You want to get in higher up off a rejection here. Decent rejection, pin bar, inside bar, engulfing bars for a move to the downside. Lastly, moving on to Euro British Pound. Been going nowhere for quite some time, and obviously with all the noise yesterday, we are testing the upper end of this range. That's my range. So what you'd want to see is some kind of a pullback onto some form of structure for another attempt here, or a solid breakup and then a pullback and a retest. So if you look at yesterday's price action, fairly strong, pretty solid move up here. No real, well, there's a gap all the way down the bottom here. So I'd want to see pullback on structure. This looks like a bit of a flag. We're oversold. So I'd want to see, in fact, I'd actually ignore this one, although if you trade the 15-minute, it'll probably come into play. So that 0.88827, I prefer coming back down to 0.88583. That would kind of be this flag's target as well. So that's kind of my view. And then just below it is a cluster of potential support as well. So I would pay attention to this area as well, which is 0.88464 and 0.88517. So trend is up at the moment on the hour, so you're looking for some kind of pullback on structure before looking for another attempt at 0.88996. If we crash through this today and get a daily close above here, then we need to ignore the structure to the downside and start looking for structure higher up. But that's kind of my view at the moment. So yeah, Forex is starting to move. Pretty interesting, actually. Hope that helps, and we will catch up with you tomorrow morning. Cheers for now.